How's it going, everybody? It's Young here, and welcome to day 53 of the Final Fantasy XV Countdown Retrospective. Before you proceed, I highly recommend you check out day 54, in which I discuss a new Versus 13 trailer shown behind closed doors during Tokyo Game Show 2007 that was never made public, which media outlets later summarized through articles for those who couldn't attend the event. These articles gave us our very first glimpse of two new characters, a beautiful blonde woman who we would later find out to be Stella, and a blonde, raggy-looking man armed with a pistol who seems to know the protagonist, who we would later learn to be Prompto. In this video, I'll be discussing yet another interview that Tetsuya Nomura did, this time with website IGN, and I'll also be showing you Versus 13's Dengeki Cloud trailer, which was shown for the first time at the end of 2007. After websites GameSpy and MeriStation released their articles on September 20th, 2007 and September 21st, 2007 respectively, detailing the behind closed doors TGS 2007 trailer of Versus 13, a month later, on November 22nd, 2007, website IGN released an article detailing their interview with Nomura, through which a couple of new information regarding Versus 13 yielded. Once their interview got to the topic of Versus 13, Nomura began by stating how much more difficult the transition from PS2 to PS3 was than, say, from PS1 to PS2, stating the following: "Compared to the move to the PS2, the move to the PS3 is more difficult. Planning and so forth haven't changed much as far as work is concerned, but overall, the amount of graphics work has gone up considerably. You can show tiny details, so you have to put tiny details in your illustrations. It seems that the Versus team was, from the start, trying to get the full specifications out of the PS3, and that takes time. Just the other day, during a Versus meeting, a programmer asked, 'Is it okay to program with PS3 exclusivity in mind?' I asked why, and he said, 'If we port it to other hardware, we have to program with that in mind.' I responded, 'Of course, Versus is PS3 exclusive.' Well, we know that didn't pan out as planned, and maybe that was a big part of why Versus 13 was delayed for so long. They probably programmed and developed the game as if it were a PS3 exclusive, but then the new consoles came out and they decided to make the game multi-platform, so that probably led to some behind-the-scenes headaches. But here's the interesting bit of IGN's interview when Nomura provided these new hints about the game. The other day, I saw a test of an airship flying over the world map. I felt that I was seeing a Final Fantasy-like screen for the first time in a long time. However, the fact that these things have become realistic made us concerned about what to do about the scale. It's the same scale as past Final Fantasy games, but even then, it's so wide that you can't make out the first town. So it looks like at this point in the game's development cycle, they were in the process of testing out the open world system, the world map, and the mechanics of traversing through it via airship, which is interesting, although it looks like they were having trouble with adjusting the scale of the game due to its more realistic nature. This isn't mind-blowing news, but keep in mind that people knew very little about the game at the time and were constantly itching for new information, and through this interview, we got further confirmation that some form of airship would be in Versus 13 that would allow us to traverse the world map, which is cool. Alright, so with that out of the way, that brings us to a little less than a month later, on December 15th, 2007. On this fateful day, the general public would, for the first time, feast their eyes on the extended version of the first Versus 13 teaser trailer from December of 2006. This extended version was first shown behind closed doors during their Square Enix Party 2007 event on May 12th, 2007, and 7 months later, Square Enix worked alongside publisher Dengeki to release a 122 pages promotional book mostly based around Final Fantasy VII and its protagonist Cloud Strife, but also featured information on other Square Enix games such as the Fabula Nova Chrysalis compilation. Included in the book was a special DVD containing various trailers, and among them was none other than the extended Versus 13 trailer, which was later uploaded to YouTube for the first time on December 15th, 2007 by people who managed to extract the footage from the DVD. So without further ado, check out Final Fantasy Versus 13's Dengeki Cloud Volume 1 trailer. To this day, this might be one of my favorite trailers of all time. The dreary atmosphere, the sense of mystery, the badass action sequence, the enigmatic protagonist, the presentation, the music, and just the overall aesthetic of the trailer just blew me away when I first saw this. I remember being so compelled by it that I kept watching it over and over again, day in and day out. Hell, even to this day, I'll revisit the trailer once in a while just for the shits and giggles. One of the things that stood out to me most about this footage was how violent it was. We see the main character utterly demolishing his enemies without mercy, using his legs to break someone's neck, or driving his sword straight through a rappling soldier's chest, spilling blood along the way. And I loved it. I loved this darker, more mature direction that the game seemed to be taking the Final Fantasy series towards. How much of this darker and more mature aesthetic will hold up in the final version of Final Fantasy 15 remains to be seen, but I'm certainly looking forward to finding out. Even if Final Fantasy 15 does end up dialing down the violence, the game still looks fantastic, and I'm excited to see how everything comes together when it launches on November 29th, 2016, 53 days from now. So there you have it, folks, day 53 of the Final Fantasy 15 Countdown Retrospective. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to a new episode every day at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until the game launches, and in the meantime, let us know in the comments below any memories that the Dengeki trailer might have sparked, and what it's like to look back at it now. And to be further updated on all things Final Fantasy, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!